Hello and welcome from Pontotoc, Mississippi. It's the Max Out Sports Game of the Week. Alongside John Luke McCord, I'm Graham Doty. Frank Dodds will be with us momentarily. John Luke, let's talk about the visiting North Pontotoc Vikings first. They won 4 games in a row. They've been on fire lately.
Absolutely. Like you said, 4 games in a row after a 3-3 start. Look, they're the visiting team, but they look awfully confident and just down the road from their home as well. So Zay Cullins is the guy we look at for them. He's the focal point of that offense. He does it catching the ball. He does it throwing the ball. Snap it to him. Any way you can get it to him, they want to run the ball. And South Pontotoc, in their losses, have given up at least 200 yards in each one of those losses, over 350 to Bruce. So he should have a field day on the ground tonight for North Pontotoc.
Let's go over to Frank. He is with North Pontotoc head coach Brian Sutton. Thanks, Frank. And John Luke, looking at this South Pontotoc team, they're 7-3. What's been the biggest difference this year for South Pontotoc?
I think it's sophomore running back Eddie Ivy, a guy who's over 1,100 yards, around 14, 15 touchdowns on the season. He's the bell cow, and as Coach said earlier, the offensive coordinator, they want to get it to him early and often, but Tyrese Fitzpatrick has been an X factor for this team as well, and so it's really in both of those guys' hands tonight. Same for North Pontotoc. When they've lost games, it's been because they struggle to stop the run, so I think Tyrese Fitzpatrick, Eddie Ivy are going to have a big game on the ground tonight as well for the Cougars.
Let's go back to Frank. He is with South Pontotoc head coach Michael Bradley. It's the Max Out Sports Game of the Week. North Pontotoc, South Pontotoc coming up next. Thanks, Frank and Brad. This Calhoun City team, they continue to roll. They're 11-1. Who should we keep an eye on tonight for Calhoun City?
Well, right now, JoJo Gray is out. Last week he had a concussion, so he's out for tonight. But no rest for the weary. It's next man up here at Calhoun City, and quarterback sophomore Trajan Cooper is going to be the man that's called upon. They're going to run a lot of RPO, a lot of option. And if that means that the wide receiver / quarterback Jesse Neighbors, who was all over the field the last time you and I were together against East Webster. So Jesse is my next key to victory. And, of course, my third key to victory, head coach Perry Lyles. And believe it or not, he's a man that goes on the move. He's got a great offensive mind. He's a math teacher, so he likes numbers, so automatically he gets a check mark from me. But with those keys, I think Calhoun City has a good chance of being victorious here tonight in the second round of the playoffs.
Let's go back to Frank. He is with Perry Lyles. Hello and welcome from Saltillo, Mississippi. It's the Max Out Sports Game of the Week. Coming up next, the Baldwin Bearcats go on the road and take on the Saltillo Tigers. Back with more action right after this on Max Out Sports. John Luke taking a look at the Saltillo team, winless on the season. They returned 20 starters from a team a season ago, but they're pretty banged up. Going into this game tonight, they're looking for a big win.
Yeah, well, the injury bug has bitten them hard early this season, and really kind of Julian Warren is a double-edged sword. He's a guy that's got a 95-yard interception return for a touchdown, so he's a playmaker on defense, big-time playmaker on offense, catching the passes. So, but it'll all start and end with Kane Wilbanks tonight. He runs it well. He throws it well at times when he gets protection. So whether or not he doesn't get sacked a lot tonight, I think will go a long way to determining his performance, and his performance will go a long way to determining if Saltillo can win this game.
Let's go back to Frank. He's with Saltillo head coach Pat Bird. Stay tuned a little bit later. We will honor the Max Out Sports fan of the game, and after the game, the Max Out player of the game. That will be coming up a little later. Back to Frank and John Luke. Hello and welcome from Calhoun City. It's the Max Out Sports Game of the Week. Graham Doty joined alongside Brad Logan. Frank Dodds will be with us shortly. But Brad, coming into this game, first district game for both of these teams. Let's take a look at East Webster first. They're 5-1. They've lost 2 quarterbacks to broken collarbones, but they keep winning.
Yeah, the numbers are there in regards to quarterback play, but right now it's all Miller Hancock. He's a D1 baseball future signee, and he can really run the option very well. He's a very smart quarterback, and he's done everything that Coach Doug Wilson's asked him to do. You know, Charlie Brand was the quarterback, and they're hoping to get him back in 3 weeks, but right now it's going to be the show.
Let's go over to Frank Dodds. He's with East Webster head coach Doug Wilson. Thanks, Frank. And Brad, taking a look at this Calhoun City team, they're 5-1, and this triple option attack always seems to work for them.
Well, we're here at the Boneyard, and they always say this is a place where dreams go to die. In the mid-1990s, now Principal Mike Ray was the head football coach, and there was a lot of people that came to this field and lost. But today, Calhoun City is going to try to get a win. They're 5-1 on the year, lost to Houston earlier. Both these teams actually lost to Houston. But right now it's the Jesse Neighbors show. Jesse ran the slot last year. Sykes is now playing for over at East Mississippi Community College. We know the success they've had. So if Jesse can run the ball effectively, which he's done all year, they've only thrown 14 passes all year. So it's going to be a running attack, and we'll see what Perry Lyles has up his sleeve, but it's probably going to have to do the legs of Jesse Neighbors.
Let's go back over to Frank. He's with Calhoun City head coach Perry Lyles. Thanks, Frank. It should be a great one tonight at Calhoun City. East Webster, Calhoun City, opening kickoff coming up next. It's the Max South Sports Game of the Week.